Hello everybody, this is Frogman. Welcome back to Satisfactory. We've been working on a project to try to get a bunch of nuclear pastas built, and they're slowly coming online, or I should say all of the particle accelerators in this building are slowly coming online. I've done a little bit of work in between episodes and got most of another side running. We had to go over to this location right over here and gather up a little bit of copper and do the same old thing. So there's a new little bitty building kind of right over here. And I decided to use a train station over there to get the power because there was no power anywhere near there. So I just stuck up a train station over there and hooked it onto the track. So we now have about, well, I don't know. We're well over half of the building running at this point. There are 4 of the 5 particle accelerators running on this side. I have brought in another small amount, or I should say, I brought in about 260 copper powder per minute. When we're all said and done, we should have about 60 powder per minute excess, but we do have at least 3 of the 4 lanes running down here. And again, the nasty out here is gotten marginally better. I had to kind of load balance it a little bit so that I could strip the excess 100 off of that belt and combine it with this one so that we could have about 460 headed to the other side over there. So we should be still producing a reasonable amount of things, or at least we're just kind of, I'm slowly, basically what it is, I kind of slowly want to ramp this up so that we know when to be able to shut it off should we need to. I don't think we're going to need to. I think everything's kind of functioning reasonably well. I don't have a power pole. Can I get a power pole, please? We should be okay. We're still, excuse me, we're still under where we are at least producing as far as production. And I had to go fiddle around a little bit with the, the stinking fuel supply system again. I miscalculated once again, I think, although I'm not exactly certain, and I don't really care. We're just going to kind of worry about it later. It's going to be someone else's problem eventually. As we work this up, this number should slowly crawl up to about right here, and it may peak and it may go over, and it may peak and it may go over. I am intending to start turning on some of the other assembly lines in our main base so that they can start getting shoved into a awesome sink, and everything once we're done up here, once we're done creating all of those 1,000 nuclear pastas, we will be creating 10 nuclear pastas a minute going into an awesome sink, 11 of the pressure conversion cubes going into an awesome sink, and then whatever we can get out of main base. So main base should be able to produce, basically what I'm kind of figuring is between this factory and the factory where we're producing the pressure conversion cubes over there, we should be able to pull somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 million points a minute or a second or whatever it is out of these 2 factories in order to be able to shove it into an awesome sink. And the base should be functional of being able to do somewhere around 7 to 10 million points as well. So once we get everything turned on, once we get everything just shoving into the greatest thing in the whole wide world, we should be making about 20 million points a minute. And that probably will likely take me a year to be able to get anything else done. I've sat here and kind of played around and looked at the math and thought about it, and we're going to try to get as much of the stuff out of the awesome sink as we think we want to. Namely, I'm after the trophies. We're sitting around 830 tickets right now, but there are some other fun things that I want to kind of play with today. So we have been kind of ignoring, and I've kind of not really intentionally been ignoring things, but I have been ignoring some of the more funner, sillier things that you can get out of the awesome sink. And there's some of the other little things, awesome sink, awesome shop, and there's some few other things that we can definitely go play with. So I've got a build train up there. I'm going to leave it sit right there because we're going to build one more factory, one more copper factory, and it is going to again exist out here somewhere, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that. This is a kind of a just whatever project as we decide to do whatever project. All that's going to happen when we hand in those last project assembly parts is we're going to get something else we can buy in the awesome shop. So I'm not incredibly concerned about trying to get that over with and done. But again, probably next time we're going to come over here and I'm going to try to build a somewhat fancy, I think maybe right over their factory, maybe right out there in that area. Oh, missed completely. Hey, Keep me up here. Right out there in that factory because this little flat spot out here because the copper nodes are right here. So we'll try to build something kind of neat because you can actually see quite a lot from up there. So that'll let us bring that down into the side of this whatever factory, and then we can use a section somewhere in the factory to be able to try to load balance all of the 4 belts that are going to be going into that area. And then we'll go from there. But that's going to be another time. We've already done this once, and for that matter, I may not or we may have a little bit of fun playing around. I was thinking about building it in that hole, but it's kind of a whatever kind of a deal. I wanted to build all of it in that hole, but then when you start talking about how much copper we were going to have to shove in here, it would have been taller than that building, and that kind of would have probably overshadowed things a little bit. So what we're going to go do is we're going to go back to base, and we're going to go play with some stuff in the awesome shop. Hi guys, I didn't know we still had people over here. I thought I killed you. People, critters. These guys are so much fun now. Where you going? Hey, whoop, overshot. Come on. You gonna run off the edge? Yes, you are. Are you gonna come up here? No. Where's your friend? You're over there. Come here. Where's your thing? There we go. Thank you. All right, that should have taken care of everybody. So, back to base. Alrighty, we back in the main base, and it's kind of been fun. We have not been here in a while. I mean, we were here last episode for just a short period of time to do a couple of things. But there are a couple of things that we need to kind of look at that I do want to touch on before we get really excited about doing some of the other things that we have. One is that thing, and, well, one is over here. There are a few things in the MAM that we have yet to finish. I am kind of marginally interested in these bullet guidance systems. It might make that other rifle slightly better, and I kind of want to talk about these things. Now, we're going to go ahead and unlock these. Let me go get a little bit of rubber really quickly, and then we can go ahead and pop those out and kind of mess with them. I'm in a kind of a little spot where we need just a little more power, and I really, really, really don't feel like going around and doing all of... Whoop, that's not it. It's Contiuning. That one right there. Go ahead and research that for us really quickly. These used to be really good. The geothermal generators used to be really, really, really good, and then we decided, Coffee Stain Studios decided to change how they work. So this is kind of what I would consider it's a stopgap. It's almost. It's a whole bunch of power that's guaranteed no matter what you do, so long as you go build the 20 or however many of them, I forget exactly, that exist in the world. I think it's like 16 or 18 geothermal locations that you can put these down on, and then they'll kind of do a little bit of work. So I think we actually have a couple here really quickly that we can kind of mess with. So let me see. I need a few of some high-speed connectors and some of the heavy modular frames. I should have heavy modular frames. I wonder what happened to those. Oh, yay, autosave. Can we get it all out before we get it done? Grab me a couple of those, and the high-speed connectors are downstairs. Let's just let that clear. Autosave done. Let's get us some parts. We need to do these right here. I want to be able to make at least 2 of these, so I think we need 2. Let's just get 2 up to there, so I have my list of things to get together. So we got supercomputers, high-speed connectors, and rubber. High-speed connectors are going to be a pain because I got to go up into the factory to go get those. I need to bring... I don't make enough of them to make a difference, and we don't use them for hardly anything. At least I don't think I have them down here. I thought I made a whole box of those like I usually do. Let me see. Where is the... I'm lost in my own base. It's over here. Those are... No, I don't have them down here. I'm going to have to bring a whole box of that stuff down here because it's one of those things you never really need a lot of. But let me get a bunch of those, and then we're going to head over to where we're going to start playing with these newer generators, or at least these different generators. And boink. And over the thing, down again. I really need to just quit doing that, but whatever. Jump on your little slide, and let's see if we can get a little bit of help. I didn't get all the way to where I needed to go, but that's okay. Let's see if we can get over here. So the geysers do have a scanner thing for them. Am I gonna get it? Yes. Awesome. Okay. So I do know that they're right here. So I do know they're right here. I do know that we can kind of walk right by them many times, but they're going to go ahead and pick up like most of your other resources do. And ooh, slug, hello. And thingies popping over there. I don't want to talk to you guys. We got 2 of them over here we have to play with. There are about, I forget, 18 or 20 different geyser sites. And geysers tend to, or I should say, geysers are a kind of a pain. They used to be really good, but as of, I forget which update it was, they have been kind of nerfed. And I think it was the update when they decided to change how power generation works, which is, well, it used to be that you only had generators running as you needed the power to be produced. So basically the generators would shut off or turn off or idle down or do whatever, and only turn on as you needed the power. Now generators, well, like I said, which made, I should say, let me continue that thought before we get into it, which made these incredibly powerful because these were the only things that produced power all the time. So you could get a flat line amount of power happening all the time in your power network, and you could just kind of use these as you needed to. So we'll put that over there for right now. We got a couple of friends we got to take care of really quickly, and I think we'll go grab you first, maybe. Got most of them, and then yonk, land right on it. Cool. If you're quick enough, you can get them before they spawn, which is what I love about those now. So that's a great thing to be adding to the deal. Anyhow, so what we used to get is we get a line up in here that would say, well, you have X amount of continuous amount of power because these generators would run all the time. And then they changed the way things work so that the system or the power system was on all the time. So all your generators are running all the time, no matter what. And it ruined a lot of people's power grids and power systems because of the fact that they were not really very well prepared for what was going to happen. What these are going to do, they kind of act the same thing as a normal miner. They'll have a purity level the same as all the rest of them, and depending on the purity level is how much power the actual generator is going to make once you stick it on top of a deal. So I believe this should be a pure node, correct? I just saw it. Yeah, geyser pure. So it's going to have a kind of an idle, or a kind of a cycle, kind of like the particle accelerators do. So it will go anywhere between 200 megawatts and 600 megawatts with, of course, an average of, what is that, like 400 or whatever. Doesn't really matter as far as those go. What we're going to care about with this is the fact that it cycles the same way. So if you're wanting to use this for a usable kind of all the time thing before some of your other systems kind of pop in and go to work, which kind of really doesn't make a difference either way, you can hook this up to a battery if you don't have batteries already. So like we already have batteries hooked up, we already have the power storages set up. These can kind of be used with power storages like we did the particle accelerators to kind of smooth out this line. So this is a pure, and I think, I forget what this one is. No, it's a normal. Is this a normal one? Normal. So a normal is going to make it between 100 and 300. When you tie those two together, you're going to have a somewhat amount of power all the time. Is it worth it? Well, on this level, if you're going to play with the normals and the pures, yes, because 50% of the time, especially on this one, it's going to be making more power. Well, actually more than 50% of the time, because I think 150 would be like right in here somewhere. It's going to be making more power all the time than those fuel generators are concerned. This one right here will be like 1.5 fuel generators, where that one is going to be like 3 to 4 fuel generators if you're kind of play around with. Yes, it's 200, but if you're kind of thinking about the average number, it's going to be over 300 pretty much all the time. So this is technically 2 fuel generators or 3 fuel generators, whatever. They are a little expensive. I will give them that. They're a little expensive compared to this, but you know, for the cost difference between this and that, they're really not that expensive as far as playing around with them. Plus, you only have to build like 18 or 20. Once you build those, they're free power forever. So let's run over here, and we're going to hook them onto the actual power network, which I think I can get to... let's try to make it reasonably decent looking, since we do have like stuff right here. No, right there. And... Oop, too far. And that to maybe like right there. Oh, nope, 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 nope. I don't plan on cleaning this up at all. Some people use these for like backup power systems. You can kind of use them to charge a large bank of batteries, and then say when you do have an issue with your fuel generator, or say your nuclear power system decides it wants to go offline because you let something build up or whatever, you can use these to kind of charge a large amount of batteries, and then when that dies, you can use this to kind of flick the batteries on and kind of help out with what we're doing, or what you're doing in your own particular world. So we now have a little bit more power, and we're going to start to notice this thing that I've not liked the entire time because of the, you know, those fuel generators going on and off. Well, now we're going to cycle up and down and up and down and up and down between based on how these go. What we can do, and the only thing that kind of can be used to mitigate this a little bit for us now, since these power storages do not have an in and out, which I wish they did. I think it's one of those kinds of things that would make a little bit of sense, kind of like our power switches, how power switches, when you put one down, there's an in and an out. There's a, you know, that's an input and an output. If the batteries or the power storages had an in and an out, then you could use the battery to easily smooth this so you don't see it going out the rest of the way, because the power storages could charge up and charge down as these things saw fit. However, we're not at the limit of where our power is, so we wouldn't probably see them do much more than just go up and down and up and down. In between episodes, or as I can, I'm going to run around and do the rest of these. There's quite a few of them locally. The majority of them are actually kind of up here anyway. I think the most of them are all kind of in the top section of the map. I think there's one or two like down here somewhere. I forget exactly. There's like two of them right here on the edge of the crater, but as far as like any of them being out here, I don't think there's any. So it's like mostly all of them are up here, and you can use your cool little toys to do the other stuff. So while we're here, and since we're standing here, we can kind of talk about that. One of the other things that was introduced in Update 6 that we have not played with yet, I want to go up there, and well, up on top of our up there by the crater, and we're going to go play around with something else that we haven't messed with that might be able to help. God, I did a really terrible job there. Be able to help us get this sorted out to where we can find things a little better. So let me get up there now. All right, so I want to get up on this rock just so we have all of the height we can use, and I'm trying not to use up all of my fuel because it's really annoying. Ladders are still a very, very usable thing even when you do have jetpacks, because it's just easier to climb a ladder at times than it is to climb other stuff. But I want to get all the way up on top of a kind of a fairly high spot over here so that we can kind of do a little bit more goofing. One of the things I've never used, or used to never use as far as the game is concerned, is radio towers. So radio towers in the organization, I believe, right? Radar tower. This is a big dude. It's a big dude, and it used to be that all it did was slowly over time map your world. And they're pretty cool. They've got a really nice top, and they're about the tallest. Before we got the ladders, before we got the silly little ladders that are out here now, that was the tallest ladder we had, because there's a ladder in the center of it that'll allow you to go all the way up to the top so you can kind of look down at things. What I want to do is, I think I can get power up here. Maybe floor is too steep, floor is too steep. Can't afford, floor is too steep. Why can't I afford? I'm out of cable. Amazing. Crap. 1 second, I gotta go get some cable. 100 ought to do at least for that point. I gotta remember I can just do that. It's one of those things, you play this long, you tend to forget the simple recipes. Let's see, can we get this power up here? Can I put it like maybe? I keep forgetting I can fall off this thing. Oh, you will let me come up here. Is that a nice, good spot for you? Plink, and then bang. Now, these things used to just map. And I mean, just map the local areas. So if you open your map up and you had a big black spot and you didn't feel like wandering around in it, you could just, well, come to the middle of that black spot, put one of these down, plug some power on, and it would over time map the area, or at least show you what the map looks like. Now they kind of do something very useful, and so this is something that those of you that are trying to maybe look for things, or maybe you don't want to be cheesy about using up I don't know, one of the websites that's available to try to find things. I mean, for me, we're probably going on 700-800, maybe 1,000 hours in this game at this point ever since I bought it, and I know what the map looks like. I know pretty much where everything is. But what I kind of like about the new functionality here is that it's showing me where all of the nodes that are generally around in the area that are available. And what's really nice is, as long as I leave that tower powered, those nodes are going to show up on my main map. And I believe I can even go in here and adjust that possibly. I don't know what I think there's some stuff down here that you can play with. I'm still not 100% set on how this whole thing works, but we can, yeah, there we go. Resources, all those kinds of things. You can check those out, shut it off if you don't want it. This is incredibly handy. For those of you that do not know what's going on or have not played the entirety of the game and you want to know, like, say, what an area has, you can come into an area, you can take that tower and some power and just plunk it down immediately. And I forget what this uses. Does it say how much it uses on it? Where is the button? Organization. It needs 30 megawatts, which you can do with one of those. So one of those will run one of these. So if you're out prospecting and you're looking for something that you desperately need and you don't want to go cheat or cheese anything off of the interwebs, you can just throw down one of those and a little bitty biogenerating generator and let it run for a little bit, and it'll pop open all the information on your map. Again, incredibly handy. It also tells you which ones you have things on. So it's totally now very much usable. It used to be these things were, like, say, pretty much completely useless, other than one little bitty function which was overwritten by the ladders that we get. Back in the day, back before those cute little ladders that we have now, this was the tallest ladder we had. And I gotta remember how to do this. There we go. Up to there and up to there, all the way to the top, and then you get a nice little platform, and if you have a jetpack on, you can even go a little bit higher. So this is a really nice, nice. Oh, did they take? There it is. I was gonna say, I thought I could stand on these. You can usually stand on stuff, but that now you can kind of see kind of the rest of the world and the way things go. This is really kind of a handy little doohickey for this kind of stuff. So let's go do a little bit more goofing. We've talked about a couple of things, talked about geothermal generators. Good Lord, I can't speak. And again, I'm going to put up probably another, I'll probably get most of them. I don't know if I'm going to go crazy to go after all of the impure ones. But for certain, all of the pure and the normals we're going to do. But let's go back to base. We've got some more fooling around to do, I think, with the awesome shop and the awesome sink and a couple of other things. So let me, can I make it? Can I make it? Can I make it? Not gonna make the belt. Nope. Anyhow, I will see you guys at the base. Alrighty, we have currently 852 tickets, and we're currently making somewhere around 870 something to 10 something points per minute, 10 million points per minute currently. Now, I do have a couple other things going on in the base, and I did turn a couple of our other factories on that are making parts that have just been kind of sitting idle. We will eventually go ahead and make sure that all of these yellow lights are all green by the time we're ready to start doing things. But, you know, 852 tickets, we can kind of play with that for a little while. So let's go ahead and print off those, or at least print off I'll print off 500 of them for now, mainly because my inventory is a little bit full. I'm going to go downstairs, dump off some junk into the trash can. This is actually the trash can side. And then we can move forward playing around with a little bit of the stuff in the awesome shop. It's funny, I still haven't researched that. I've got 26 of those little guys. We may have to do something with them, with the leftovers at least. I don't know. We'll have to mess with it as we go. Let's go do a little bit of that. There we go. That's a little bit better. And let's go down here. Now, there's a couple of things I want to buy right off as far as just doing some of the fun things. Now, I have left a lot of the goofy stuff alone. So, like, I haven't purchased a coffee cup because I don't really need a coffee cup. But you can get some of the other goodies in here that are kind of handy, especially if you've got these unlocked. I forget, you like 25 of them. So if you're looking for a couple of them, if you're looking for some things that you might want to do, like we could get some stuns or we could get some things, that's kind of expensive considering those are very easy to make. So is this. This is a kind of a waste of. These are a little bit interesting as far as that goes, but like the shatter and that iron rebar, that is very expensive for what you get out of that whole thing. Tickets are kind of a pain in the tail to make. Personally, I wouldn't do this one either. If that number was maybe 25, I'd think about it. If that number was 25 medicinal inhalers, I would think about it, especially with how nasty they are to craft now. But we're going to go ahead and grab one coffee cup because we haven't purchased a coffee cup at this point. And we're going to go look in this level here. I want to purchase the boombox with all of the tape since we got the deal. Yes, the cassette tape from last time gives you the, well, it's basically usable in the boombox now, and I believe it's going to be this one, the one that we currently have right now. I'd have to look because it's a 0, so we'll just go ahead and make sure all this stuff is purchased. I don't care. We can for certain just waste our time on those, or at least waste our tickets on those. It's a kind of a fun little thing that we might get the chance to play with here. I think there's some stuff we can play with it fairly close. I don't know. I'll have to take a look. We are going to be working towards getting all of these. I want all of these to include that one, which means I know I'm going to have to the base is going to have to produce some serious tickets fairly soon, and I mean serious tickets. Or either that or it's just going to sit here and idle while I spend a day or a week at work. Now, I do want those. Those are brand new. They're basically the roof tiles that you already have, but they have a little bit more of a better angle on them. They're a little bit more usable, which I'm very excited because I like the roof tiles more so than I like the slanted wall tiles that I don't know. I think they're in this one. They look better. They look better than these do. So that's just my opinion at that point. I kind of like them a little more. And foundations. There are 2 new foundations that we got in the last update as well. Those are going to be half foundations. We can add those to cart. And there is the quarter pipe extension round those things, which I kind of think I can find something to do with. Did I add them to cart already? Hello? Did I add it twice? Okay, so we've got all that added. The back button is a little janky because it's underneath some things here, so we'll have those ready to go. Management, they gave you the ability here, and I think we'll just leave these set for right now. If you don't want a pipeline with the little expansion indicator thingy on it, you can just build the pipeline with that way. I am going to go ahead and grab those, even though I probably don't need them, probably will never need them. Personally, I like the little expansion thing, so I think that's just a kind of a waste of time. And then, of course, there's a couple of these in here. It's just a skin for the boxes, which I don't hardly ever use those boxes, so it doesn't really matter. All right, to the shopping cart. Buy them all, please. Thank you. So that was, oh yeah, my other tickets. One thing that if you don't know you can do is you can place your tickets in the Awesome Shop purchases section so that you know where they are all the time and you don't lose them. All right. Hey, son, come on. I really need to put lights in some of these places. Let's go. Oh, dang it. I did it, and I knew I was going to do it. Now I got to get it out of that pile. Can I have my purchases, please? We'll just take that. Go in here. Go in here. So we have like 1,000 more tickets we need to get, I think. Something like that. At least 1,000 or more. I'd have to do the math and sit down, but that's enough of those tickets for right now. We're going to go right straight into another autosave, but we're going to get up here and I'm going to stare at that thing for just a second while we wait on this autosave. I think you're probably done. I don't know. We'll just go ahead and pull that down and see what we can do. So there's a couple of things you can do that's kind of dumb with this whole mess. One of those things that I know that a lot of people, or I should say a lot of people tried, one of those things that I know you can try is that the Awesome Sync eats anything in the game, or at least most of anything in the game. What do I want? I want organization, I need a storage container, and I need some kind of belt to go from here to there. That doesn't work. I know it's invalid. It doesn't work. I love how those kind of do that things like that. But one thing you can do, and again, for those of you that don't know, this thing will eat just about anything except for certain parts of the nuclear stuff. So if I take, like, I don't know, some of that concrete or something that I don't have a lot of, well, like those two computers, they'll go into that Awesome Sync. They'll get ground up for points. The only things that don't have points, as far as I know, is nuclear waste and plutonium waste. So if you try to grind both those up, you're going to get told you can't do it. It'll jam the interface. Now, there's a couple other things that you can't do anything with. One of the things that's kind of dumb, and I know it's kind of silly, is we can put one of these in there, and it'll grind it up.
Fix It Incorporated
and we get this.
Does not waste. As a reward for your creative input, I have been given permission to grant you a gift. You can find it in the Awesome Store. I hope you like it. It was my first solo project.
That reminds me so much of Portal right there. It's not even funny. I love that little, just how she says that is my first project. I hope you like it. It's kind of funny. The other thing that I'm pretty sure you can put in is this thing. I'm not 100% certain. It's quite a while since I've watched this. The coffee cup, I want one of these IRL. I need to get on their website and get their merch and buy one of these because it's really cool. It was the original difference between, well, people got really tired of staring at something in their hands, you know, so like this is in the middle of the screen, this is in the middle of the screen, this kind of thing. So they gave us the coffee cup so that you can kind of get stuff out of your way. And that used to be a joke between were you a coffee cup fan or were you a nut fan. The barrel nuts do a similar kind of small obstruction to the screen, and of course, you know, you can drink it. It's never-ending coffee. It's always there. I have been told that since the recent updates, this does something. I may be wrong. I may be right. I don't know. No, it's sitting right there, and that's what you see when you see something that won't go in. They'll just sit right there on the edge of the screen. So, can I have my belt back, please? We should get our coffee cup back. Right, correct. Okay, so coffee cup's back. I'll go put that in a chest somewhere, and we can kind of play around. Now, I think this thing, as far as I know, you can't put it in there anyway, and I'm not going to buy another one. So, let me put my box back. Let me put this where it needs to go. There you go. And we've done the thing that I wanted to do. Now, the boombox, I'm going to play with the boombox first, I think, before we get into what we got into the Awesome Sync. There should be something fairly close to where we are right now that will allow us to play with it. But basically, it's a, well, really 1980s style cassette type player kind of boombox thingy, and I have no idea, no tape and boombox. Do I do what I think I do with it? Change tape, and it's supposed to make music. I have no idea how any of this is. Nope. There's your action. There's your action. That action is supposedly fairly important, so we're gonna go see if we can find something that we can use that action with. How do you turn it on? Oh, I must have the music off. I have the music off. Interesting. 1 second. Options. Audio. I do have the music off. Can I put this thing down and it'll keep playing? No. Let's go see if we can find what this thing's actually usable for. I think there should be something around in this area we can find that we can play with. They're right over here. Oh, crap. Hit the button. That's what they're good for. Come on. If I quit letting them hit me. Come on. Come on more. Now, it's got a cooldown on it. And as far as I know, the only thing it pushes back are those things. We might have to go play with these other spitters over here, but they're kind of handy if you're just kind of rolling through and you want to do something. Let's see if this thing will do anything with this. Probably not. It did. Pushed him back. He didn't like that. It causes a certain amount of damage to the critter, and it stuns him for just a little bit. He'll eventually get mad at me and die. Maybe, but it's another little silly little tool that they put into the game for us to kind of play with as we kind of wander around. And I guess if you want your own soundtrack, you can have your own soundtrack once you kind of sort things out. Now, I do know that they don't have any intentions yet of being able to put your own technical stuff in as far as this goes, but there's other things we get to play with today, and that's one more thing I want to mess with before we end. Alrighty, that looks nice there. We got to turn the tunes down, and of course, if I just read, I could see that, you know, I can put it down on the ground and then interact with it, so I can have a stereo while I'm working around and actually listen to the stuff that's on the game. So it's another one of those kinds of deals. Did we need it? No. Is it cool? Yeah, it is kind of cool. I won't use it much. It's probably going to get relegated to a box, but we can at least, you know, have a little bit of fun with it. For those of you wondering how you were interacting, I'm hitting R, and that is allowing me to do what I need to do with it. So stop, close, and then we can do this. Now, that last thing, for one, we're going to shut that off. I've got nothing against the in-game music. It gets incredibly boring after a while. So let's go back over to here and let's look at this thing. There's something that after we turn that one ticket into the awesome sink, we're going to get, and it's a fix-it special. It is the it's a kind of a meme and it's kind of a joke. It's called the Cyber Wagon, and yes, it is a direct poke at Tesla's Cyber truck. It's not a truck, it's a wagon, and it's 20 tickets. I'm not going to waste my tickets on 20 tickets, at least not for this run. So I'm going to save and buy it and then cheese it and play with it and then not buy it again. So I'm only going to waste one ticket for that thing. Let me do that real quick. Grab a few tickets and go, yes, it's miserable, but we'll just go back and end it by all thank you. It's a complete total joke. I'm just telling y'all right now, you don't need to buy it if you don't want to. I'll put that in here for right now. I will be reclaiming that 20. It's not, we get all kinds of vehicles in the world, and there's a lot of different vehicles you can play with that do a few things quite well, and this one does one thing very, very, very well. Let's see. I need a few of those just in case. But it does a lot of things very, very poorly. So, Cyber Wagon, let's just put it down. Why are the windows cracked? I don't remember the windows being cracked. I need to remember how to how to, there we go, open workbench. You can have some fuel in there. It has one inventory like the cart does, and it's, well, you know, got square wheels. It doesn't go very fast. It's not amazing. It's kind of just a, like I said, it's a joke. It's a poke at Tesla Cybertruck. And a couple other things, actually, but there's a couple other things. Of course, I'm hanging out at the bottom of it, and I don't know if I can get this to work. Hey, let go of me, please. We'll see if we can get this to work. I know it's kind of a little tight space in here, but we can sure try to see if this will work. Yes, I watch lots of people. I know that what this thing can do, and you all should be able to know now, too, if we kind of play with this just a second. All vehicles can be, you know, actuated on by the jump pads. And as far as I recall, this one is probably one of the best ones. Oh, we got to get it out of the area. Let me get outside of the base. All right, let's poke that right there, and that should give us enough of a runway to kind of play around a little bit. Power production, transportation, kind of silly things. Like I said, all vehicles can be actuated on by the jump pads, so you can bounce vehicles off of jump pads. You can make them go, you know, however direction you want to go. Like, say, maybe you jump one off a cliff and it go flying somewhere. Everything pretty much will work with those vehicle-wise, including, of course, the player. So, like, if I jump into that thing, I'll get, you know, blasted backwards and shot, you know, a decent distance. Not really that far. Let me see if I can get it to work. Just run into it. So I'll get blasted about however many foundations that was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish foundations. If I put the thing that I just made as well for giggles, a factory cart down, which if I place him in my inventory, we have not played with this yet, and there's a reason why I haven't messed with it. So put it down, because it's a kind of a royal pain in the tail, but they are cool. So if I do the same thing with it, first off, I got to be able to get up on it. Let me do a little bit of work. Try that again. Put him down. You get blown backwards a decent ways, and of course you kind of do a little bit of fun with these guys. These guys are actually quite a bit of fun to play with, the half pipes and the round pipes and every one of those kinds of pipes too. Now the cyber wagon, we can for sure just plop it down, get it kind of straight, and I probably won't need near the run as this one goes because it's kind of meh as far as I remember on its speed. So just give me this, thank you. And up in workbench, we'll put a little bit of fuel in it, and I put fuel in it. I put fuel in the wrong spot. Fuel in the right spot. Down here. Wind it up. Get those nice wheels all a-bouncing and a-crazy and a-silly, and come on. You can do it. You can do it. I love it. And there we are in a puddle of water at the bottom of the lake, knocked out, and we can't do anything else. Can I just take that with you? So that's the functionality of a cyber wagon. It is one of the original ways of being able to fly through the air without having flight. So it's kind of a joke, kind of a thing, but you can unlock it as soon as you are able to get tickets, which is, I guess, hilarious. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I've goofed around enough. I think we're going to go do some more serious work next episode. We have some more factories we need to build so that we can make some more powdered copper. And, well, we can start to try to finish the game, which I think we should be able to get done in an episode or two. And then we'll have to just let the system run and make... Ooh, don't... Careful, I don't know what I just deleted, but I don't want to delete it. Then we should be able to do whatever we need to do to get the rest of the tickets that we want for all of our trophies. And then we can call it. hopefully some kind of new information will be coming out. I know the Coffee Stain has posted, I know they posted a few new teaser videos about what they're going to be putting out for the next update, and some of it's really cool and some of it's really meh, like always. But I guess I hope you guys enjoyed. I've been kind of goofing around. We're going to get serious and kind of play some more games, or at least play some more. Let's build some more factories in the next episode. See you guys then. Bye.